Apple we go for this next matchup. It's number 24 Texas and 13th ranked Kansas State. The Longhorns, they've won 5 straight in this series, but while they were chilling on that bye last week, the Wildcats absolutely destroyed what was a top 10 Oklahoma State team 48-0. So Texas not taking the second best team in the Big 12 lightly. Let's chat about it with our friends Tim Fitzgerald of GoPowerCat.com and Taylor Estes of Horns 24/7. Starting with the most impactful position on the field, that of course is the quarterback. And both of these starters have dealt with injury this season. But Adrian Martinez enters this game questionable. Now, Tim, Will Howard stepped in admirably over the last 2 weeks. So even if Martinez is available, who goes?
That's a great question. It's a big question that everyone around here is asking. And I suspect if Adrian Martinez is close to 100%, he'll get the start. But Will Howard's been pretty spectacular the last 2 weeks, particularly against Oklahoma State. He was Big 12 Offensive Player of the Week. First possession, he completes a 4th and 10 for a 38-yard touchdown. He was just kind of on the money all day and played a great game. It's going to be interesting to see if Will Howard, the thrower, goes or Adrian Martinez, the runner, goes, because that might speak a lot to the game plan.
Certainly. Meanwhile, Texas 3-1 in games when Quinn Ewers is healthy from start to finish. The one, it happens to be their last game. So, Taylor, how much growth have you seen overall from Ewers this season?
Yeah, he's shown a lot of growth all year round, honestly. But the last game against Oklahoma State was easily his worst performance of his career, I would say, not even just at Texas. I'm saying going back to high school, too. He struggled mightily against the Cowboys there in Stillwater in the loss on the road to Oklahoma State. Obviously, Texas spent the bye week watching Kansas State do to Oklahoma State what they wanted to do to the Pokes. And, Quinn Ewers definitely is going to need a bounce back game against this Kansas State defense, this Kansas State team that seems to be really lighting a fire at the right time of the season. But overall, I say that it's going to be hard to really, question Quinn Ewers' ability to bounce back. He's a very intense competitor. He is really laser focused on the details of the game, and he wants to definitely right the wrongs that he showed on the field in Stillwater. So he's going to definitely be up for a tough task when he takes the field inside Bill Snyder Family Stadium, no doubt about it.
Oh, yeah. And a banged-up quarterback's best friend is a running back. And we have 2 of the best here in the Big 12 squaring off. That's Bijan Robinson at Texas and Deuce Vaughn at K-State. So defensively, how is each team game planning for an elite run game? Taylor, kick us off.
I think the biggest thing is probably with the Texas run defense. We're talking about the defense is going to be, figuring out what they're going to be doing against Adrian Martinez if he is the runner, because Texas has struggled against running quarterbacks. But when you look at what Texas has at their in their pocket with Bijan Robinson, not just him, but Roschon Johnson too. I mean, this is arguably one of the best 1-2 punches in college football. Bijan Robinson is looking for his 7th straight 100-yard rushing performance. He came up pretty big against Oklahoma State. And honestly, the last time both of these 2 players played in Manhattan, Kansas, they both had field days, with Bijan Robinson rushing for over 170 yards against the Wildcats in 2020. Roschon Johnson also racked up over, close to 140 yards in that game. Both of them had 3 touchdowns, so they're definitely going to be wanting to repeat that performance, if at all possible, when they take the field on Saturday night.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot for Kansas State's defense to handle. These running backs are absolutely incredible. A key for K-State's defense is the presence of Daniel Green at middle linebacker. He sat out last week. K-State did a good job without him, but he's the kind of physical, athletic presence in the middle of the defense I think you need to defend these 2 particular running backs. And on K-State's offense, Deuce Vaughn is finally looking healthy for K-State. He looked like his old self against Oklahoma State after being limited in some of his touches. And Deuce is just one of those kids that makes everyone miss. And sometimes you can't explain how he made someone miss, but he is awfully electric to watch. And the complement of him and Adrian Martinez in the backfield have been really difficult for defenses to handle this season.
All right, the reason we have insiders on this show is to give you info that you can't find anywhere else. So let's keep it simple here. Tim, what's another matchup that we should spotlight that really could play a huge role in who wins and loses?
Yeah, can Kansas State's defense continue to provide a pass rush with 3 or 4-man rushes? And Felix Anudike-Uzomah makes a lot of that possible. K-State's been really good in not bringing a lot of pressure in terms of bodies, but getting pressure with how they attack an opposing offense because they're so athletic up front. If they can do that, they'll be able to sit back a little bit and keep the ball in front of them, whether it's a run or a pass.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest keys for Texas in this game is going to be, if they are facing, the defense is facing Adrian Martinez, being able to contain the quarterback run game. That is something that Texas has not done consistently well when they have faced mobile quarterbacks that can beat you either with their legs or their arm. It seems like that could be a matchup nightmare probably for the Texas defensive staff and the defensive side of the ball. And it's going to be interesting to see who Kansas State does go with that quarterback. But I would say if Adrian Martinez is on the field, then the Texas defense is going to be really tasked with a tough challenge, and one that they really have not answered the call to all season long when they have faced those type of mobile quarterbacks that can get a lot of yards by tucking it and running it. And so that's going to be definitely a huge key to watch for Texas if the Longhorns are facing Adrian Martinez and that K-State offense.
All right, can't wait to see who goes for Kansas State. Guys, thank you so much. Keep it locked in to GoPowerCat.com and Horns 24/7 for coverage of these teams all season long.